Hello, Keystone. As always, it's both an honor and a privilege to come before you as we celebrate our ongoing Keystone journey together. Our growth and progress over the past few years are not just a testament to our innovative ideas and entrepreneurial spirit, but also to the power of teamwork, collaboration, and culture. No one knows this organization better than you, the teams that provide service to our clients. So much of our growth is a direct result of your ideas and your hard work. Last year, we had a fantastic year by many measures, and in a minute, we're going to share some of the results with you. There are some challenges we are seeing in our industry that we are working hard to overcome, such as reduced income from our banking partners, rapid industry consolidation driven by a growing list of private equity and foreign investors, a rapidly changing technology landscape, a very slow housing market, and a changing economic environment. In a world of constant change and evolution, it's easy to get distracted by your competition and the challenges we face on our daily lives. But we have been and will continue to be resilient and more determined than ever to redefine our industry. How have we managed to stay focused and surge ahead with excellence? Well, the answer to that question lies in our leadership and our unwavering commitment to our purpose, values, moments that matter, and our commitment to focusing on three long-term company goals in both good times and in challenging times. So often, companies talk about what changes or what is changing and try to respond to that. But we remain focused on things that won't ever change. Our company's vision to improve people's lives beyond expectations. Our values are to be servant leaders, build relationships, exceed people's expectations, and empower our people. Based on our vision and values, we have set six behaviors called our moments that matter, which come from you and our customers and will always be valued above everything else. Let me remind you about those 6 moments that matter. To respond with urgency, close the loop, be a Keystone ambassador, ask for and act on feedback, check for quality, and provide seamless connections. Everything we do, like the tools we select, the training we provide, our overall digital transformation project, and our increased investment in people development ties back to our vision. We worked on training projects like supervisor training at Keystone University. We pushed digital transformation projects like the homeowner and board member app and CXC. All of these initiatives aim to improve how we deliver on our moments that matter, align with our three long-term company goals. And those goals are, we want worldwide employee experience for each of our team members. Second, we aim to deliver a world-class customer experience for our clients, achieving an NPS score of over 70 by the end of the second half of this year. And third, we want to expand our geographical reach in homes and association managed throughout the Western United States. In other words, all the changes we make at Keystone serve the things we don't believe will ever change: our vision, the moments that matter, and our three long-term company goals. As I talked about in prior meetings, hiring and developing great leaders at Keystone is critical to our success. When we brainstorm ideas, develop strategies, craft solutions, our diverse team and emerging leaders clearly drive our decision-making and creativity. That is the major differentiator between us and the industry. We have great leaders. As we continue our efforts to develop leaders and invest in succession planning, we'll continue to convert individual potential into collective excellence. Today, as we take a look back at 2025 and ahead at this year, we need to continue our commitment to investing in each other's mutual success. Nearly all the success we have achieved has come from great leadership and focused teamwork, which has fostered a tremendous company culture. Let's remember that our greatest accomplishments are not those of individual brilliance, but those achieved through collective perseverance and solidarity. Let's also celebrate the milestones we have achieved. We have achieved major company goals over the past few years, like receiving the Great Place to Work designation and expanding our operations into the Coachella Valley, Northern California, Colorado, Idaho, and Washington. Our achievements prove that when we invest in each other and unite our talents around common values, we can achieve uncommon success and have fun doing it. Looking ahead, the path will always be filled with challenges, but focusing on our shared vision will continue to propel us forward. The future is extremely bright for Keystone and our industry when we're all aligned and work together. So thank you for your unwavering commitment, your passion, and your resolve. Well, now I'm going to talk about last year's achievements in 2025. We grew the units we managed by 15% and the associations we managed by 9.3%. Last year, we reached a milestone when we achieved one of our goals, which was expanding into the Coachella Valley through our partnership with Albert. We also strengthened our Orange County presence with a great team from Cardinal. Our effort to organically grow in Los Angeles made really good strides with 8 new communities, including Bell Canyon, a large-scale community in LA with over 20 new team members. So I want to extend my deepest thanks to everyone who made last year's growth possible and offer my heartfelt welcome to all the new team members on the Keystone team joining us today. You've joined us at a very exciting time. In addition to our growth, our financial performance was excellent. In many ways, 2025 was our best year ever. And I'm very pleased to share that last year we achieved record revenue driven by our acquisitions, excellent company-wide retention, and organic growth efforts. Last year, we had record revenue of almost $69 million, which is an increase of 268% since 2017, and 35% in just last year alone. When we look at managed communities, the numbers tell a similar story. In 2025, we signed over 100 new management contracts through our sales and marketing teams. That's a record. And we increased our managed communities from 947 to 1,035. There's another milestone. We crossed the 1,000 association managed threshold. Our units managed grew as well. We now serve 187,000 homes, a growth of just 15% last year. And we have over 600 team members now. These figures show our strength and continued upward trajectory. We should be proud of these performance indicators and excited about the new frontiers we'll conquer this year, 2026. We took some of the profit we earned and invested it in our team programs. Increased training platforms, lower account loads in some areas, and equity adjustments were all ways to make sure we take care of each other as we grow. We also took the step of hiring a new benefits broker. Our new broker has a strategic vision for how our benefits program should be structured to ensure we offer the best benefits and the best choices across all of our regions. This will be a multi-year process to modify our benefit levels, but you should see some initial changes this coming year during the re-enrollment process in May. It's just one more way to act on your feedback. Even though we already offer industry-leading benefits, continuing to enhance them is a priority for you and your families. We had 29 internal promotions in 2025 because investing in our internal leaders is a core value we all share. We continued major investment in our training programs in Keystone University, like supervisor training, Moments That Matter training, violence prevention, as well as continuation of our 5 levels of leadership training. All these have been major investments in how we share success across Keystone and made this a great place to work. Well, speaking of great place to work, in 2025, Keystone again achieved another truly incredible milestone with the awarding of the National Great Place to Work designation. Well, thank you. Here's Joe to talk to you about our 2026 goals.
Hi, everyone. Like Carrie was saying, last year we had an absolutely great year both for the company and our team with expanding into Coachella Valley, partnering with Cardinal, growth in our regions, and of course, earning the Great Place to Work designation again. In terms of people, we had 29 internal promotions, had leaders complete the 5 levels of leadership program, and were able to invest in a new benefits broker with the long-term goal of enhancing benefit levels. Growth was everywhere across the company, and our leaders are going to share their success stories later in the meeting. But first, I want to talk about our company goals for 2026. I want to remind everyone that everything we do builds on three areas: expansion, our client experience, and our team member experience. First, let's talk about our expansion and growth throughout the Western United States with acquisitions. Even though we can't comment on specific companies or plans due to non-disclosure agreements, we can tell everyone we're very interested in growing in a few regions and have focus on Los Angeles and further expanding in Northern California. Outside of California, we're keeping our focus on Colorado, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. We're looking forward to some exciting announcements in 2026. In terms of organic growth, we now have dedicated team members in each of our regions leading business development, and last year, we began partnership with over 100 new clients. There were a few notable partnerships, including a new active adult client in Colorado called Keystone, our new large-scale client in LA called Bell Canyon, and our partnership with Disney to provide services for Cotino in the Coachella Valley. This year, we plan on keeping this momentum going and look forward to many of you benefiting from positions created at our new client locations. Led by Mike Tripp and our region's VPs and business developers, this year we are aiming for new contracts across all of our regions and plan on adding over 100 new accounts and $1.75 million in revenue. At the core of growth is retention. Our teams have done a great job this past year in building our already strong retention numbers with reduced account loads for managers, consistent execution of trouble account review and service plans, leadership and client check-ins, and tools to increase transparency like weekly and monthly automated action item and management reporting. The CXC has made continuous progress and continues to answer over 80% of voice calls in less than 90 seconds and resolving over 80% of requests on the first call. We have also implemented Net Promoter Score measurements in the CXC for both voice calls and emails. We're still in the early stages, but the voice call NPS scores have steadily improved, and we're putting a lot of effort into making sure our NPS scores and emails improve this year. We also rolled out the CXC in San Diego and are excited for the team to experience it in 2026. The result of this has been better board member satisfaction with dramatic decrease in the number of accounts we're monitoring. With all this effort, our goal is to retain better than 95.5% of our clients this year company-wide. In some areas like Northern California, Colorado, and Coachella Valley, we are projecting even better retention between 96 and 97%. Shifting to our new development and our large-scale and on-site management teams, we had huge success in 2025. We added 2 large-scale clients with on-site staff and a record number of new development clients with record revenue in our forward planning department as well. With all of the success this year, Brian Maxwell and his team are bringing developer services to clients in Boise and then Colorado later this year. This year, we're anticipating a much more challenging economic environment due to low interest rates and a weak housing market, both of which adversely affect a few major revenue streams. In order to keep management fees competitive and continue investing in higher pay and great benefits for all of you, we have a few programs to diversify our revenue to protect our company against changing economic conditions. We work hard to create programs where 3 groups win: clients, Keystone, and all of you. First, we have rolled out delinquency processing in Northern California with the help of the Manor team. We also are implementing a pilot program to provide escrow inspection services for people selling their homes so buyers and sellers can proceed with confidence that their home does not have any violations prior to sale. Lastly, we have tried to tackle one of the biggest problems in the industry: rising insurance premiums and decreasing coverage. We are partnering with the biggest insurance broker in the industry, LaBarre-Oxney, to lower long-term insurance premiums for clients and reduce manager workload while increasing educational resources to Keystone managers and clients. More information about all of these programs will be available soon from your local leaders. As we grow, it's more important than ever to have regional unity. This past year, the accounting teams led efforts to provide support for accounting, accounts payable, client billing, escrow, and banking operations. IT and HR really worked hard by onboarding and supporting our acquisitions, as well by bringing teams on the Keystone pay and benefits, onboarding new employees to Sync, and evaluating infrastructure and providing services like help desk support. Lastly, operations work to standardize contracts and insurance workflows. The work is endless, but unbelievably important for our team. This year, we'll be continuing our efforts to roll out accounting, IT, and HR services to our acquisitions through our comprehensive regionalization plan that we started last year. Specifically, we'll be focused on Albert and Cardinal. We will also roll out the CXC to Colorado. Also, to make sure we remain aligned, our regional VPs will be creating a framework around what autonomy they need to drive client satisfaction. Next, I want to talk about our efforts in IT and AI. Last year, we piloted several tools to assist the employee and client experience, including automated board packages, budgets, and using AI to assist customers with common questions via voice, text, and email. We also rolled out our AI bots that help with common Vanica and Sync features, which are really amazing. At the conclusion of the pilot, we found some things that worked and some things that were just not ready to meet our high standards we expect for the employee experience. We have unbelievably high hopes for the technology, and this year we are going to continue our efforts to roll out these tools as soon as possible. Val and her team are continuing to work with our beta test teams to refine the products and are making progress. As soon as they are ready, we'll roll them out to the greater team. Now let's talk a little bit about data security. As we have gotten larger, our exposure to cybersecurity threats has also increased. While AI has had some great benefits, it has also enabled threat actors to target companies much more quickly and effectively. We have made some changes and enhancements over the past few years, like advanced security software and updated network architecture, and we're going to continue to make some changes this coming year. First, we need to ensure we hold and manage only the data we have an obligation to hold, so we are going to implement a data retention policy and AI usage policy. We also want to do a better job of guarding against bad guys getting into our Keystone network through personal cell phones, by strengthening our password protection and make sure our software is up to date and not be careless by using freeware tools. To address these issues, our wireless networks in some of our locations will change. For cell phones, we will have a separate wireless network and a corporate Wi-Fi that will be used with the wired networks to do day-to-day business. We'll roll out more multi-factor authentication features, enforce more frequent complex password changes, and we will use some software tools to make sure all of our software is up to date. Please make sure to take all of the cybersecurity training and be smart about passwords by using strong passwords. No more passwords like Joe loves Josh Allen 123 exclamation point. That's really not my password, or is it? Update your software when your computer says to. Do everything you can to get client data into Sync, Vanica, and the secure data locations in SharePoint and on the file servers. Never store data locally on your computer, and please don't put client info into ChatGPT or any of the public AI tools. I know that some of these new policies are annoying. Trust me, no one is more annoyed than me. I love my password, but at this point, these things are just not optional, and a little less convenience will lead to a lot more data security for all of us. Now let's talk about our people and a world-class employee experience. This year, we again earned the certification of Great Place to Work. We were really proud to earn the designation of in 2024 and 2025, and we'll go for it again in 2026. Our scores increased across the board by about 4 percentage points because we implemented programs as a result of your feedback in areas like pay and benefits by forming an official pay philosophy that ensures we are all aligned in how we set compensation for our team. We also are providing more consistent information on our benefits programs and training opportunities. We had a lot of feedback on people development last year, so this year we're rolling out a formal calendar with training and development opportunities so everyone is in the loop about all of our offerings. In addition, we're implementing a new leadership development program called RISE. The goal of this program is to identify future high potential talent at Keystone and give them tools they need to get to the next level of leadership. We're really excited about it and can't wait to have some of you participate in the program this year. There will be a more formal announcement soon, so be on the lookout. Like I said before, 2025 was a record year for Keystone. We had records across our regions and amazing success stories for a ton of our team members. So instead of telling you about it myself, here's the leadership team to tell you themselves. Over to you, Ariana.
Thank you, Joe. I am so excited because we're doing something a little different today, and a really exciting little different today. I am joined today by all of the regional leaders from across Keystone, and we're going to talk about community, all of our community management. And we're going to start off really simply with all you guys. I'm just going to go around, and if you could introduce yourselves for those who don't know you directly, say what division that you oversee, and maybe a little fun fact about your particular group that you oversee. So I would love to start with you.
Yeah, my name is Nick Thompson. I'm the VP of our Idaho division. A couple fun facts. We do not sell potatoes out of the office. And we service 2 states, Idaho and Washington.
Oh, that's great. I did not know that. I just thought it was Idaho. So, and I've got a lot of really good questions for you because I want to know more. Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Michael Gonzalez. I am the VP of Colorado. We serve the Denver metro area. We have 2 offices surrounding the city of Denver. And fun fact about us is we are the region that gets to deal with the snow and the freezing weather.
Not Idaho? I would have assumed Idaho too,
We
but
get a little bit. They're a little colder than we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do as well. That's true.
you're in the Rockies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're just outside the Rockies, east of the Rockies, right there, the foothills.
Well, I'm so glad you could fly in to join us today.
Happy to be here.
And welcome.
Hi there. Kyle Wolak, Vice President of Southern California. Fun fact about my division is it's 75 and sunny most of the year, almost year round. So, I mean, a little better than Colorado. Idaho might be a close second, though. You get a little bit of weather.
Way to rub it in.
Yeah, that was the intention. That was the intention.
And I'm Jeremy Wilson. I'm the Vice President of Northern California, Kyle's counterpart up north. We have 2 offices, one in Santa Cruz and one in the Bay Area on the peninsula itself in San Mateo. Fun fact, we just hosted the Super Bowl.
That's right. Yeah, that's just like yesterday or the day before. So I'm actually going to stay with you just to get us started because I'd love to give you, for you to give a little snapshot of what's happening in your region and what you've seen over the past year.
Yeah, thanks for that. So NorCal has been a great experience for me. The operation is wonderful. It's a recent acquisition with the purchase of Manor and Shoreline Property Management, like I said earlier, out of Santa Cruz as well as San Mateo. We've got about 250 accounts and just shy of 100 employees up there. And it's been busy. I mean, NorCal is looking for a good quality, well-priced management company, and they're eager for that. And we're happy to step forward and be that management partner for the clients up north. It's lacking right now up there, and it's nice to see the amount of growth and opportunity that exists in Northern California.
And are you working both with new development or existing development or both?
Both. Yeah, absolutely. We've got some great partnerships with some new developers, and then we get most of our leads coming in through existing clients up there.
I have some questions for you later on, specifically about your accomplishments this year. But first, I'm going to go to you and ask, tell me a little bit more about Southern California, because again, like I said, I've kind of grown up with Keystone. It was kind of this, and now it's all Southern California.
Yeah, SoCal is, it's a big territory. So, and I'm so blessed and grateful to be a part of this team and to have the privilege of working alongside all these team members. Collectively, it's about 430 clients. So we stem from Orange County as our hub. We're at the corporate office here. So it's Orange County, Inland Empire, San Diego, and then our recent acquisition into the desert. And then we've got some expansion and growth into the LA territory. And so collectively, it's a big region. It's a 70+ thousand units.
Yes.
So it's pretty big territory. But really, it's the success of the SoCal divisions because of the people, right? It's a huge territory, but each region has leadership.
Right.
And so without that leadership, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. And so collectively, there's a regional leader in each territory. There's a secondary leader, a director. And so collectively, it's 6 regionals, it's 11 directors, and it's just shy of 100 managers. So it's a
So
big territory. It's a big
how much
territory.
driving are you doing every week? You must be all over the place.
Not so much anymore. I'm trying to be thoughtful about my, when I'm in those locations. It's, one of the offices about every other week I try to get in there. But I spend a lot more time here at corporate nowadays, but it's, we've got some driving coming up, so that's for sure. So
For sure. So, and speaking of driving, I'm going to go to you, Nick, because Idaho and Washington, that's a big territory. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, most of our business is in the Treasure Valley area, which is Idaho. We have a handful of accounts up in the Coeur d'Alene and Washington area. A lot of our business comes from developers up there. So we have one employee up there and then one local employee in the Treasure Valley that travels up there usually once a quarter to meet with the boards, help out our single employee that runs all of the HOAs in Washington. So yeah, it's good. We're hoping to grow a lot more in the Washington area. We'd like to put our footprint in there and hopefully open up an office there and have some employees actually down there.
Right.
But that's in the future to come. So hopefully the growth just keeps getting better and better.
And what about you? Were you from the Idaho area or were you from here and you transferred over?
Nope, from the Idaho area. Lived there probably 38, 40 years of my life. So yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of change as people have moved into Idaho. The state is growing and the potential is everywhere. I remember, 5, 6, 7 years back, most of the land around my home was farm area, and now it's nothing but apartments, homes, new business. So Idaho is growing at an exponential rate, and I'm excited to see the business that's going to be brought in. So
You said like everybody who's like gone past 40. I remember when, when
I
was
hold on. I need to
nothing but
fact check
like
the
a
math there. No. I need to fact check the math. You said 38, 40. You're like 32.
I was
Like,
gonna-
let's
I
stop,
was-
dude. Don't even.
I know, right? Yeah. I was like, so since you were a toddler, okay, so good call. Well, Michael, I know that that's been part of your story, starting here and moving out there. Tell me about what's going on in Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado has been a great run for me. I moved out with my family when we had the opportunity to acquire
And
our
one of
first
the
office.
brave first ones.
Yeah.
Like you were the first one to do that.
I was the first out-of-state
Yeah.
acquisition, the first one to move out here from California. So I worked here, in the management and director roles, oversaw some of our new development here in Orange County, and then had the opportunity to move out to Colorado. We acquired our first company out there about 4.5 years ago, and so went out there to run the division, and it's just been an amazing run. Been out there for these last 4 years, and we've acquired a total of 3 companies now. We're continuing to work on more. We've evolved from just short of 30 HOAs to 170, and
Oh my
grown
goodness.
from 10 employees to 50. And
Wow.
it's just
In 4
moved really
years.
fast, and it's been super exciting.
That's amazing. And that's such a, I don't want to say new thing, but it's certainly been a focused thing over the last several years for Keystone, is building a culture and really solidifying it. And when each of you goes out, and, you're overseeing new, acquisitions and new companies coming in, what challenges did you find in bringing another company in and bringing them along? And this is who we are now. This is part of Keystone.
Yeah, I mean, that is a significant challenge. You have people who have been doing things for, sometimes decades, the way they have, and utilizing their tools. And so, when we have an acquisition, we're onboarding the team into our culture and how we do things. So, I mean, going through software changes,
Right.
I mean, that's a significant one. I mean, there's a lot of pain points there with, taking the tools that they've used and they're familiar with, and implementing what we use as the company. But when you get on the other side and you're able to take advantage of some of the additional support we have as a company at large, you see the benefit when you get there.
Yeah,
And then
Michael, you make a good point there. I mean, the transition of, folding in employees and other companies into the platform, and you have to do it with grace and dignity, and you have to respect the employees that have been on the forefront and have the legacy behind them to retain that legacy, because that's the culture that we're trying to retain. Is that that's how they're valuable to us as an acquisition, is that culture that they bring to us, not just the business side of it, but the employee side of it. So being cognizant of that, and Keystone does it very, very well. They respect the culture and the employees and do it very gently. I mean, just to be candid, they've done it very gently with Northern California. We're hearing about it from the other regions as well. It's admirable to see, because it's not the case in the industry with other companies.
Yeah, I've seen
Sure.
it 3 different times, and it's been incredible to see how Keystone has been respectful of those companies and how they operate, and taking, a slow approach to make sure not to rock the boat, and it's paid off. We've seen the results.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have heard me say it in this table and those out there. We're a people business, right? And so without the people, we don't really have a business. And so, Joe talks about it, or I've been fortunate enough to hear the conversation, and Mike probably as well. It's, those acquisitions are very thoughtful in terms of the people and the culture. And there is something to be said about honoring the legacy, right? These people build these companies 20, 30 years, and you want to honor them, and
Yeah.
seeing that legacy continue on. It may change names, but ultimately it's honoring those people. And then the the people side of the business, like we keep talking about, it's, people, the culture, it's so important.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the accomplishments for last year, because my understanding is that there were some really big accomplishments from last year, and you all have something to crow about. So I'm going to start with Kyle and let you talk first about Southern California and what your big accomplishments were for Southern California.
Yeah. So I've been with the team now over 2 years. That are growing pains when I first came on. And then so I think if I really pause and think about it, the retention of clients was a 50% difference, or how do I say that? It's the loss of clients was substantially cut in half, literally cut in half. From when I got here to this last year, it was a 50% reduction in lost clients. And so for me, I take a step back and I look at the team and I think to myself, it's the leadership, it's the directors, it's the CAMs, it's all of their hard work that allowed for us to retain those clients. And so thinking about that, the acquisitions as well was super exciting. We had the Desert acquisition, and then we had the Northern Orange County acquisition. So the retention of clients, having that being cut down substantially, and then the growth while doing it while growing. So I really think for me, that's what I'm most excited about. I mean, there's a bunch I can be excited about, but trying to narrow it down, those two specifics would be my two markers to be most proud of.
And you've said this a couple of times, and I didn't ask specifically, but when you say the desert, where are you talking about specifically?
Like
Is that-
Sahara Desert.
Oh,
No, I was kidding. Coachella Valley is the
Coachella
proper,
Valley.
is the
Okay,
proper
okay.
is the proper terminology.
You got me
there.
good. So, okay.
The Coachella Valley is
But is
you
it
know,
La
Palm
Quinta? Is
Springs.
it right?
It's a
Is
whole
it
valley, right? So
okay?
it's Palm Springs, La Quinta, it's Coachella Valley. Um, the terminology is generally used as the desert. If you look at the local CAI chapter, it's CAI Coachella Valley, so CAICV. And so I generally tend to say the desert. Some of my counterparts and people in the area might think I should call it the Coachella Valley, but it's interchangeable. So
I just didn't know if it was a specific city, or if, like, now I understand. So that's where the growth is going to be. And there are a lot of communities out there.
yeah, and a lot of golf courses too.
A
So
lot
I'm a
of
little
golf
biased to
courses.
that. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity in the Coachella Valley with the acquisition of Albert. The Albert family name has been a staple in that marketplace for a long time. And so to work with them and to have the opportunity to, I say partner with them. I know we acquired them, but really it's their efforts, their leadership that allows us to continue to be successful out there, right? And so we're going to build on their success, and I'm excited for it. I really love the area. It's a unique little niche of an industry. It's about a 6-month season, as they call it, and so for about half of the year, the town kind of borders up, and everyone escapes the heat, and then they come back. They come
I was
back
going to say,
down.
have you already been out for a 120 day, 120?
We were out there. I'm trying to think.
It
I
gets
was out
pretty
there.
cool.
It was when we were out there at 9 in the morning. I think it was like 104.
Yeah.
And so, but when it's that hot, it doesn't cool down. Like it
Yeah.
just stays hot the entire time. But no, I'm very, very excited about the desert region and the Coachella Valley. I think there is a need. Jeremy, you've spent a bit of time out there, and so I think from my perspective and hearing from business partners, I'm really excited for that territory because there is a service need that there's an expectation level from that demographic, those communities that I really believe that we can.
It's a unique client out there. I mean, you're talking about large scale golf resorts is
Yep.
what it really is out there. And that's what the whole valley is made up of.
A lot of retirees, they're half the year, so yeah, again, I'm super excited about it, and I'm looking forward to this next year or this year and seeing how we continue to support that team and as well as grow. So
Well, Jeremy, you're up next. So tell me about your 2025.
Yeah, we had a great year in 25. Gosh, a lot of things going on. Obviously, I moved up there in late 24 and just started off early 25 and taking over the NorCal region. A lot of things from we changed offices mid-year, so we moved into the new space. We reorganized our leadership structure, promoted quite a few, put them in the right seats. And gosh, my biggest feather in my hat this year is watching that leadership structure flourish now. It is amazing to see how our regional managers now are just running the operation. They own their book of business, and watching them take accountability and really do a successful, amazing job. It's admirable to see, really.
And yet overall still evolving, still growing, still new things to learn.
Absolutely, yeah. So what we've seen really take place last year in 25 is an expansion outside of the Bay Area into surrounding areas is where we're seeing some really hungry clients eager for some good management, pushing outside of the Bay Area down into Hollister, Marina, Monterey, east into Stockton, north into Sacramento, into Napa and Santa Rosa. So all those peripheral communities around the Bay now, they've had great service in the Bay for a long time with Manor. And Manor's known as the Keystone's known as the premier management company in the Bay. It's just widely known. Everybody knows that. And introducing that to the surrounding communities, it's being gobbled up now. It's amazing to see.
And where there's a ton of growth going
Ton
on
of
too,
growth,
just
yep.
like because you can't get into the city so much anymore.
Yeah.
So you need all of these, ancillary cities that can provide that
That's right.
gateway, basically.
right.
So, all right, Nick, we're gonna go to you. I've ignored you too long. So, but you talked a little bit about like the different growth that you've already experienced. But tell me what are your big accomplishments for 2025?
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without my team. I'll tell you, we had a record-breaking year in 2025 as well with our growth. We had about 13 to 15 new communities and then record in our retention, which took a lot of work when Keystone acquired AMI or the Idaho division. We had some struggles up front, and my team was relentless and they worked through everything. And I think we're in a very, very, very good spot. We're inches away from probably being the leading management company in the Treasure Valley. Just a few things that we've got to get our local Idahoans to kind of come on board with and understand. But with the knowledge my team has and the way they explain it to the boards and to the communities, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. And, I'd say we're top 3 in the state of Idaho for management companies, but I think we're all aspiring to be number 1. And hopefully 2026, we get there.
I think you're all competing against each other to be number one. Like who could be the best node?
I think
the success of everybody.
well, I think Nick's gonna drop some merch that says "Don't California my Idaho," right? Because that's really what's happening.
It has been an influx.
Yeah, so we're gonna you heard it here first. We're dropping merch, all right? So
Yeah, but what a great thing for someone if you are like say from Idaho and coming to California or vice versa, since more people leave California. But if you're leaving California, you're like, oh, Keystone. If you're going to Northern California and you're like, oh, I know them. That's something I trust. I know them. That's a quality product that's going to take care of me.
Yeah, I mean, the Idaho way is good, but to see change is good. We've had a lot of change between our systems, rebranding to Keystone in 2025, new office. Change is tough. It's scary at times. And I think, the local people that have lived there forever and seeing everyone move in, it's strange to have all the change, but it's good and it's growing Idaho. It's growing my team. It's good to see that. It's just going to take time for everyone to adjust. So, yeah, we've had a lot of good accomplishments. I can't thank my team enough for sticking through all the changes. When I say change, all the system changes. Keystone does a great job letting us kind of operate the Idaho way, but we all went to the corporate systems, which was a struggle at times. But my team was very, very, very structured in making sure they learned those systems. And without the support of Keystone, we probably wouldn't be where we're at. So I want to thank everyone.
I don't think I asked you how big is your team in Idaho right now?
We have about 30 employees total. Most are all local. We have a few that work either in California or Colorado, but like 95% of the team is local Idaho.
Oh, well, hello, Idaho. So, all right, I saved the best for last. Michael, how about you? A 500% increase for Colorado last year. Talk a little bit about that. Going
we're
from
not
20
worthy.
Yeah, the 500% was over the last 4 years.
Oh, okay. All right.
But like you've
Okay.
heard
Fair
from
enough.
everyone else, we
Right.
did have, we beat our expectations for growth, organic growth. So that's always exciting. And that's been a trend year over year in Colorado. We did place someone in the business development role a little bit before last year. And she's really hit her stride this year. Doing a great job with running that piece of the business out there, and owning and running with it. She's also helped us establish ourselves as kind of a known brand in the marketplace, kind of enhancing that by bringing, the education to our clients, to the homeowners, enhancing what we do for our staff as well.
I would imagine in both your cases, that's a person who's not only doing like the new business pitches and putting together, proposals, but is also out in the community
Absolutely.
making friends and influencing people.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
so a
marketing
unique
efforts.
role.
It's, get engaged in, the industry organizations and we have CAI and CLAC, which is our Legislative Action Committee in Colorado, and just things that give back to our business partners too. Those are one of the primary sources for referral leads, as you guys know, and it's just really been a major focus on that this year. Like Jeremy, we went through an office move as well. Well, kind of like a combination of two of our offices. We acquired CPMG, and they moved in with our existing Aurora office into a brand new space. So we merged those two teams and got to take advantage of kind of expanding the depth of our operations and our
So
accounting support and
merging
our
your teams,
leadership.
did you do something fun for them? What was
Uh,
did you do something fun for them in the merge or?
Yeah, actually, so this last week we threw a big open house party. So, it was a little bit after the move. We got settled in, and, got through some of the things we had to wrap up after the move. But and we tied this in with a business partner event. We invited all of our business partners out to kind of show everybody the new office and just celebrate, being in the new space together.
You got to keep celebrating and just building awareness, obviously. As a small business leader myself, I know how exciting it would be to get a business development person who's doing that for you. So it's not all on your shoulders either.
It changes how you operate. When you
I,
have somebody fully focused on new growth, it's incredible.
well, everyone's talked about their team. You have a small but mighty team. What is to you the key of keeping that team motivated, letting them know that, you got their back, that you appreciate them? What are some of your
Yeah, I think what was most beneficial is not just myself and my leaders, but Keystone. When you have an acquisition, I know my team wanted to be able to operate. We would say the Idaho way, but it really is a unique way of operating that the people that live there, they don't like to see a lot of change. They don't, they're used to more inexpensive HOA dues per year. So I think my team really appreciated the fact that Keystone had their back and let us operate the way that we need to. And then it was easy coming in and supporting my team and my leaders supporting them because it's no different on day to day than what we've done in the past. So when a new company comes in, a lot of the time there's a big change and it kind of ruffles feathers and disrupts the industry.
It's like, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do. We're
And
not
Keystone
listening.
made it very clear they're here just to give us support. They want us to continue to operate the way that we've operated. And it's been a huge success story, being able to do that. So I can't thank my team enough and Keystone enough for letting us do the job that we need to do to make sure that we're successful in Idaho.
Okay. Michael, how about you? So what are your big initiatives for 2026? What are you and your team looking at?
Yeah, 2026 is exciting. We talked a lot about the growth, and one of the things we're looking at 2026 is kind of just taking a step back and focusing on some of the things that didn't evolve as fast as we grew. So we're kind of taking a look at some of our core processes and how we deliver service. So we're looking at things like some of our accounting functions and retooling how we do our AP. A lot of the initiatives are taking everything we have in Colorado. We've taken multiple offices and combined them. And so we have processes done in all kinds of different ways. And so it's, trying to achieve those efficiencies, just like you said. So, we're looking at how we do AP and some accounting functions. We're looking at our on-call. We have some, ability to enhance some of our leadership support too. Combining two of our offices, we're hiring our second director in our Aurora office to kind of, enhance the leadership we have there to support our team. One of the biggest things I'm excited about, though, is we'll be rolling out the Client Experience Center, what we call the CXC, in Colorado this year. So, I've seen how it's worked and how it's become a massive success here in Southern California, and really excited to bring that to Colorado, where, we'll kind of be able to tie in everything we do for our clients and the support for our team and make it uniform across the region.
I just think it makes such a positive attitude amongst all of the leaders and all of the team members because it keeps it from being it makes it a positive experience,
Absolutely.
honestly.
Absolutely.
So not unlike what we probably teach any of our kids, So hey, get up, go again, go again. So anything special that you're looking forward to for 2020? You've already done a lot in 2025. Anything specific you're looking forward to for 2026?
Um, I mean, there's so much to be looking forward to, but to really take it and make it simple, I really want to build on what we've done this last year. Our retention was cut in half in terms of retaining our clients, so it's a huge milestone for us. And so would love to keep that momentum going. I talk with my team about doing the basics really well. And so I think if we can lean into those things, the retention will continue forward, as well as leaning into our team members. We had a number of team members, and Mike, so you had one of yours just accomplish their PCAM designation. So we've got a handful of Keystoners that will be walking at National to get that. And so
Oh, wow.
I think that's also going to set the bar for some of our managers who are right there and they need to push to get their PCAMs. And so, but operationally, focusing on retaining employees, retaining the team members, retaining clients, obviously, and just doing the basics really well. That way, our clients, whether it's my region, just across the regions, they know that they can come to rely on how we operate, which will then lead to more growth. And so,
Well,
keeping it simple.
Michael just talked about they're rolling out CXC in Colorado, but you're going to do something in San Diego, similar or
It's already done.
Oh, look
Already
at
done.
okay. Well,
Well,
clearly I'm
let's
late to the
pause
ball
on that.
game. So okay.
It was about a 12-month process. It just takes time, right? So when we do these types of things or do really anything, it's got to be thoughtful. And we took an acquisition we rolled it out to that acquisition, right? So while we had the company for a while, rolling out that structure was a big change for them. And so, but super grateful for all the efforts Griselda put in, along with Tanya, our regional leader down there. And I say it took 12 months because it's not an add water and stir type of thing. There's a lot of data collection from how many work orders are getting, how many phone calls are getting, because then you look at it from how do you staff the operation, right? So our client experience center, they're tracking metrics, right? And so that's a huge part of what client experience is beyond the clients, right? And serving them well, but it's also being able to make sure that we're getting the data to see how well we're serving the clients. And so huge shout out to Tanya and Griselda. That team is doing amazing down in San Diego. I'm so excited to start to see that full division client experience center just operating at full tilt. I think we're on month 1 of them fully operating and running. While we've been working on it for a long time, I'm just very proud of those 2 people and that whole team down there. So Mike, I've given you some framework, so it should be smoother.
I appreciate you doing the hard
But
work
hey,
for us. Yep.
always for you, always.
Yeah, you touched on something, really good with Griselda. I'm really impressed to see, you mentioned it's a very thoughtful approach, and we're in our early stages, and I'm just really impressed to see how structured just the approach to shaping what we do and how it's not, hey, we got this thing here, you go here are these tools, let's do it. It's gathering data, seeing where the support's needed, seeing where team members fit into that, where we need to add, and how we really shape something that fits what we're doing rather than taking something and trying to make it fit.
All right. What about you, sir? 2026.
2026. So we took a bit of a different approach as we got into 2026. In January, I got my entire leadership team together, crowbarred them out of the daily operations and took them to a hotel for the day to talk about what 2026 would look like. I gave them the general feedback and guides that we have as VPs. You've got an EBITDA to hit, you've got your budget, you've got employee numbers that you're watching, and then what are the other mechanisms we're watching? We're watching number of counts that are coming in, and then client retention, right? So I outlined that over the course of a morning of, these are the guides that we have in place. And then I said to them, It's your turn now. You're in the driver's seat here. And there was probably 20 of us or so in the room together. We did a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What did we do great last year? What can we do better this coming year? We did some opportunities and threats. And I really give it to them to really, what do we want to accomplish in 2026? And they came together with 10 items. It was a very aggressive list they wanted to get through, but they really focused in on, those 10 items came down to the employee experience, the client experience, and then really operational efficiencies and operational growth. And that's really kind of what it fell into, those 3 buckets. Super proud of the team for how aggressive they've gone at this, and I'm really
But
looking
it's
forward
team
to.
led. They're,
Absolutely.
so this is what they're going
Yep.
to be focused on for the next year, and
That's
they've
right.
got ownership of that.
They have complete ownership of it. They've assigned their own little committees to work on it as well. They'll report back to the bigger team as well at our quarterly meetings. It's going to be amazing to see how this really unfolds and, see them hit their marks and succeed at it. Really excited about what's going to happen in 26.
So, final question for everybody. So, each of you is a leader, obviously, titles, running divisions, and you have leaders that are emerging underneath you. But someone helped you become the leader, and now you're responsible for helping leaders. What would each of you say is the most important thing in terms of nurturing new leaders and bringing someone along?
Early in my career, somebody told me you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And so what I say that to say is to give space for me is I'm always like, hey, I want to solve that problem for you. And so I often will jump in and try and solve the problem. And so I started with that little adage of 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason because I want to jump in and solve it. And so I'm trying to take more time to listen.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the emerging leaders, it's listening to the problems and maybe asking questions like, well, what do you want to do about that? Or, hey, what about this? And giving them the opportunity to grow into that space of problem solving for themselves. Because it's so easy in our positions and our experiences and the years of knowledge and so many times I'm listening and I go, I know where this is going. Let me just finish this right here. Let me just solve this. Let me just solve this, right? And that does 2 things poorly. It minimizes that individual's comfort to come talk to me because I cut them off. And then it doesn't give them the opportunity to grow and finding solutions for themselves. And so that sometimes I forget, often I forget, 2 ears, 1 mouth, but I'm often saying that now because it's so easy for me to jump in and just say, hey, let me take that problem for you. Here's the answer.
Yeah.
So emerging leaders, I'm really trying to create more space for those people to find solutions. And to your point, Jeremy, they may not be the best solutions, and I know they're not. And I go, well, let's see how this plays out, right? Because I want them to, go through and not have the scaffolding to not make those mistakes, but make those mistakes and then go, man, I'm never going to do that again, right? Because so many times I jumped in, solved the problem, and the problem happened again because I didn't let them experience that.
People grow from that. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, how many mistakes have we made that when we learned, oh, that wasn't the right way, and our leaders knew that. They didn't course correct right away and say, no, it's going to be a failure.
Yep.
But it helped us grow. And I would say, I would add on to that, I think coaching to the style that people need to be coached. So listening, and then you've got to adjust your style. I think early on in my leadership, it was I coached the way I wanted to be coached, so that worked for me. You had to learn different ways to coach people, because if you don't, people aren't going to be on your side. You're not listening to them, like Kyle said, and they just kind of feel like you're brushing them under the rug. So listening for me, and then coaching to the style that people
So,
need to be.
as a leader, be more open to just like, okay, everybody's a little different.
Yeah, we grow every day, I think, with
Yeah.
that, and then our people grow underneath us and learn new ways to do things. So
Yeah. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I would say for Colorado, I've had the opportunity of kind of growing up career-wise in this company, and I've, watched what Carrie's done as we've, grown from a small company just here in Irvine to all over the place now. And, he's done a really good job, and I've, watched what he's done about putting good people in the right places and then just getting out of their way. And I kind of see that's where I am right now with Colorado. I went out there, we were, a small operation, it was easy to be high touch with the team and the clients and, be very connected. But as we've grown, it becomes harder and harder to do that. So, we're kind of in the process of, putting people in the right places and kind of stepping out of the way and letting them flourish.
Have you seen that it also has to be really intentional too at the same time? And
It does.
you brought up a really good point. And for myself, I've noticed like somebody once told me, well, the younger set, they don't have you. And I'm like, but yeah, but we're so big now. It's like we have all, but you have to be intentional. It's like, you're right. I've got to make myself available. So
Yeah, I mean, kind of part of that is instilling, Keystone's, vision and the way you do things in those next level of leaders. So, that takes time,
Yeah.
sometimes, but I would agree it's, extremely important.
yeah. Everyone get a chance? Did I ask
Thinking
everyone?
about all of you have said it early in your careers. I joined the industry in community management, property management back in '96. So I just
Oh
hit
my goodness.
30 years this year.
You look great for 32.
I look good, huh? I hide the gray well.
Yeah.
And my first boss, I just could not handle. It was terrible. But I probably learned the most from him than any other boss I've ever had, because I learned what I didn't want to be, right? I didn't want to be rude and arrogant and treat people the way he treated people. And that really shaped my trajectory for my career. And I think back now on my second supervisor I had, and one of the things he said to me stuck with me forever. And he simply said, our company or our place of business is better because you're in it. And I want my team to know that. Keystone is a better place because you're here. I don't say that to them because I don't want to sound corny. I want them to feel it, right? And it's true. I want my team to absolutely understand and believe that we are a better place, a better company because they are a part of it. And that's just the simple fact of what we do.
And that's back to, we're a people business, right? And so without the people, we don't have a business. And so, yeah, I'm grateful to be a part of this team and surrounded by such great people at all levels, right? Not just at this table, but we've got some incredible managers, got some incredible directors and regionals, and just a supervisory team. Just super grateful. So
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I could end on anything better than that note. My goodness. Thank you all for being so forthright with your answers and sharing your experiences and what's happening in your divisions, which is super exciting. And with that, for all of you, stick around because we're going to talk to a group of leaders who help these leaders do what they do. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. We are continuing our conversation with Keystone leaders, and I'm very fortunate to have with me two leaders who are very different areas of expertise: new business development and on-site community management, two wildly different aspects of the company, but so key and critical to what we do and the success of the company. So what I'm going to do is just start off with, if each of you could just let everybody know who you are, because even I'm surprised at how many people there are in Keystone nowadays. But Brian, let's start with you, your title and a little bit about what you do.
Sure. I'm Brian Maxwell, our Vice President of New Project Development, and our new project development team assists builders and developers from start to finish on their projects. So we offer forward planning and consulting services, which leads into our escrow and community launch services, and then ultimately community management when we turn them over to the HOA process. And our team manages them through the phasing period and then turns them over to either our portfolio team or our on-site team and Karen's team.
When you give a big sigh of relief and go, okay,
Yeah,
it's on to the next leader.
Our work is done.
Yes.
On to the next.
Gotcha. And Karen, thank you for being here, and tell me a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I am the Vice President of On-Site Management. And so, yeah, we take that baton from Brian and his team, along with other clients that come to Keystone that are on-site focused, that they have an on-site general manager and support staff at the on-site level.
Okay, so with that, Brian, you've had some really interesting projects for 2025. And the one that stood out to me, of course, because I started my career at Disneyland. So Disney project in the desert, which we've made fun of the desert. What does that mean? All for the last couple of interviews. But tell me a little bit about that and what it was like.
Yeah, bringing Catino on and getting to work with the Disney team was definitely one of the highlights of 2025 for our team. Disney, you're talking about one of the most recognizable brands in the world. I mean, we all grew up watching Disney movies, and for those of us in Southern California, going to Disneyland. And it's just been a real interesting experience for our team, a real rewarding experience. Their team's been incredible. They're bringing to life a nearly 2,000 unit community in the desert with its own lagoon. The amenities are off the charts, and it's what you'd expect from a Disney community.
Of course, of course.
Whether it's TV, movies, their hotels, their theme parks, they're clearly looking to deliver a elevated
experience for the consumer, and that really made us a natural partner. Keystone, we always talk about reconnecting where you live and elevating HOA beyond collecting assessments and issuing violations, and really helping people elevate their lifestyles within these communities. And so our values align with Disney's in that regard. Their team's been incredible. I mean, just in the fourth quarter of 2025, our new development team's touch base meeting, our quarterly touch base, we held in the desert, and their team gave us a whole tour of the community. They've been really welcoming, and they've just been a great partner.
That's amazing. And Karen, I know that's kind of tough to beat Disney, but you had a sensational 2025 as well. Tell me about some of the big accomplishments for you and your team.
Well, really, I think our accomplishments centered around not only our clients, but our team. We can now proudly say that our on-site teams, we have on-site teams in 6 counties in Southern California: Ventura, LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego.
And every year when I have these conversations, I learn something where I'm like, how did I not know that? That is amazing. It is really amazing.
So with that growth, it's phenomenal, but it brings the opportunities, and so that's been exciting to be able to onboard with some new clients and new team members.
Brian, and this is actually a question for both of you. So you both have new teams, new team members, and new structures in your teams. Tell me a little bit about what's fueled about that and how that's fueled growth in Keystone. And since I just talked to Karen, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, our team had a restructuring they went through at the second half of last year, and I just couldn't be more proud of the team for how we executed on it. Special shout out to Diana Schindler and Alyssa Kraus. They really led our team through that transition. And what it did was we really took a look at our new development tasks and identified, what are the tasks we need to centralize and keep tight controls over, and how do we free up our managers' time to deliver the best service to their communities and their boards and to their developer clients. And we're really excited about those changes. We've already received tremendous feedback from our clients on that, and it's really going to set us up for 2026 as we take on some new goals and continue to grow.
How about your team and the structure of your team? What changed for you guys this past year?
This past year, we were, we've added an additional layer into our leadership team. So not only myself, we have a regional manager, Marty Ignacio, and then we've added the director of on-site management, so Miriam Plesha. So very excited that, building a new team and kind of meshing and molding each other together, that's just always, revigorating and kind of exciting for the team. And Miriam brings many years of experience as a high-rise manager, so we're really hoping to tap into the high-rise market and footprint more. Wow. And I know, so
there's a
next
lot
year
of
we'll talk more.
there. Yeah, wow. And does that then lead into building new growth into LA or even San Diego, where we actually have more of that? Than we don't have a lot of that in Orange County, obviously. And
not a tremendous amount, no, a little flatter, but yes,
a little
more
flatter. Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
But yeah, LA, San Diego, even Long Beach markets, yes.
Well, I appreciate all that you're doing to instill that leadership quality. And what are you doing to also develop it? In terms of what are you, what do you look for? And then you're like, all right, what can I do to bring that out in people? Because I know it's such a big part of Keystone.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking back over my career and just even Keystone as a company, the changes that evolves. And so with that, it's opportunity and growth. And so you can look out there as a team member and say, what's next for me? Where do I want to go? And we want to help support and grow that and encourage that. So whether it's through a succession plan or I just want to do something different, those are things we try to learn pretty early on in our one-on-one communications with our general managers.
And it is really amazing how much value that Keystone puts into emerging leaders and cultivating leaders. So it's really nice to see that. Brian, I'm back to you because you've had some big things last year along with Disney. You also had Eastvale and Rialto. Talk a little bit about that and what those, transitioning, what is, I think, let's see, 30 consulting projects into management. That is a lot, more than months in the year. So talk about that because it makes it more than 2 a month.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our team in 2025. Nationwide, home sales were down. It's a difficult environment for builders and developers. Mortgage rates are up. And despite the fact that that leads to less opportunities in the new development space, our team had growth in every region. And that's really a reflection of our team and our team members. And I can't say enough good things about them. And you mentioned Renaissance at Rialto and Eastvale Square. We're really excited to onboard those. Between those two and Catino, our 3 largest new development accounts came on last year. Renaissance and Eastville are both over 1,000 units at build out. Both have on-site GM opportunities, so those will eventually go to Karen's team. And you talked about our ability to convert consulting projects into management contracts, and that's always been our goal with the consulting work. It's not just an
What does-
additional.
Well, I'm, so, I'm
no,
so
no, go
sorry to
ahead.
interrupt, but what does that through line look like? So when you say consulting, what does that mean? And then management contract, that's, kind of the bread and butter. But
Yeah.
where might you have started in the consulting?
We start as early on as possible. And so we have clients that reach out during due diligence stage where they're looking at a patch of dirt and they're saying, here's what we're thinking. What's our we have a vision.
Yeah.
What's this going to look like in the HOA side? What are our dues going to be? And from there, Diana Schindler and myself, we head up our consulting services, and we'll work with the builder and developer on their Department of Real Estate approval if it's in the state of California. If it's outside the state, we look at their phasing and their estimated dues and help them make decisions on subsidy or amenity packages. And then from there, as they're getting closer to first close of escrow, we start having those conversations about, here's what we can provide on the management side and the forward planning side. And it's really been Keystone's commitment to start to finish new development services.
Okay.
A lot of companies in our space, maybe they offer consulting, but their escrow and management is siloed, or maybe they don't offer consulting, but they do. We're really the only company that has it start to finish set up like this, where we have a seamless experience for the builder and developer. And that's been a big difference maker.
And of course, if you're right at the start, helping them flesh out whatever this vision is that they've had, they don't really often, I would imagine, want to change horses midstream. It's just
Exactly.
like, you got me this far.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way
Take
home.
us the rest of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps build their confidence in our overall operations. And one thing we've seen is that our repeat business with developer clients has never been higher.
That's fantastic.
And they're just seeing the value of having that start to finish experience.
So Karen, now I get to flip it over to you. What are the big things, initiatives you're looking for 2026?
Well, like Brian, we had an amazing 2025 and we're proud of that, but there's still a lot to do. But we're hoping that momentum from 2025 takes us into 2026 and just keep building and growing the team and strengthening the team. And
It sounds like he's going to be throwing some new communities at you.
we're
too,
ready.
so-
We're ready. So that's exciting. And I know our team, and I hope all of Keystone really, gleaned some information from this as far as that growth potential.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you both so much for sharing a little. I just want to, leave you on just one little thing that we like to do. And that is, tell me about, in your leadership journey, what is the best lesson you've ever learned?
The best lesson I've learned is that you're only as good as your people, and your people, they don't want to stay stagnant. They want opportunities. So it's not enough to just lead the team. You also need to make sure that you're developing a team where everyone feels like they have opportunities to grow. And part of your job as a leader is to look out for what's the next step in their career, make sure you're checking in on what do they want to do, and really, the rising tide lifts all boats. Build a team where everyone has a chance to grow and take part in the team's success. And that's something that I've really held to my core as a leader.
I love that. Karen, how about you?
Ditto, same, yes. No, absolutely. I mean, without the people. And I do think for me as a leader, it's really just slowing down and listening to not only what our clients are telling us, but what our team is telling us. They've got some great ideas. So I try to just kind of slow it down just a bit and really listen to what's going on. But absolutely, working with amazing people is probably for me the proudest moment that I have in my personal career, and want to continue to grow those phenomenal leaders out there.
Well, Karen, thank you for that answer. I think we're going to leave it there because it doesn't get better than that. And Brian, both of you, thank you for joining me. For those of you watching, stay tuned. We have one more segment to go, and we're going to be talking to the people behind the people in support services who make everybody look good. So stick around. Thank you for staying with us. Now we're about to talk to more of our VPs. Really excited to talk to some of the people behind the scenes who take care and support our teams out in the fields. So thank you all for being here and for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit more. So just make it easy and get everybody started. I would just love you to share who you are and what your title is and what areas you oversee. So I'm going to start with you, if that's okay.
I'm Tamara. I am a vice president of accounting, and I oversee our general ledger teams in Southern California, and our AR and delinquency team in Southern California.
And so you're based out of Irvine.
I am.
Okay.
And then I also oversee our Idaho team.
Oh, well,
So
thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
And Rio, I've known you for a while, but I'm going to have you say it for the audience.
Sure. Rio Ramos, VP of Accounting. I oversee accounts payable, banking, escrow, and implementation and transition of new accounts across Keystone regions. We currently have about 750 HOAs that we support. And I think company-wise, we have about 80 accounting team members that we all work together.
And if I'm not mistaken, you said you're going on your 24th year.
Yes.
That is amazing.
24 years.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm Deanna Miranda, I'm the VP of Human Resources, and I oversee all functions of HR for the company.
And I thought it was great. You said that you had not even been into the office when you were hired, because you were hired during the pandemic. So it was about 5 years before you even came actually physically into the office?
Well, no, I was able to come in the first day, but prior to that, all the interviews were virtual. So that was very new. So I was hoping that the office would be nice. And it didn't disappoint. It was very nice.
And now you're in new offices, so all good. All right, so to get us started, I wanted to talk a little bit about you each, explained your roles and your titles. I want you to kind of dive into that a little bit more. And so, Deanna, I'm just going to put you back on the hot seat. Tell me a little bit more about, what you do for Keystone and how you're supporting the VPs, the different divisions. It's been such a big growth. How do you do what you do?
Well, thank you. Yeah, my team and I, we support every aspect of the employee experience. So everything from recruiting, interviewing, hiring selection, to onboarding, training, performance management, talent development, to offboarding. I mean, soup to nuts. So as far as our internal customers are our team members, of course, but also, of course, our supervisors and leaders and our external clients, which are very important. So we really touch every aspect of the company, and it's very exciting, especially with the growth and the evolution of the company.
Well, and I know that that's one of the defined values for Keystone is not just about great customer experience, but about really making sure that the team is looked after and happy and being fulfilled. Am I right? And
Right. I mean, in order to retain and keep our clients happy, we have to make sure that our team members are happy, right? So when you have team members who are happy and you retain them and grow them, naturally that's going to result in great client service and retaining our clients.
so, Rio, you just mentioned that you're VP of accounting, and that's a really important and big role for the company. And tell me a little bit more about those components that you're overseeing for Keystone.
Well, right now, the growth of Keystone itself has been tremendous, right? So lately, we've been doing a lot of onboarding, implementations, and acquisitions for various regions. What's great about it is it opened up our eyes on certain interpretations that we never looked at it, right? There's things in California, we interpret it different from Idaho, things in Colorado that doesn't exist in California. It's very interesting. It made me feel that at the end of the day, it truly just matters as far as like, what do we want to do for our clients, right? And you have different steps we take, but at the end of the day, how we implement it, we just support the team and make the client happy.
And so, when you say there's different ways of doing or things are different from place to place, you mean just like regulation? Or is it also, you're incorporating, as you grow, you're incorporating new cultures, new systems from other places, I imagine?
There's new regulations, there's different regulations, but ultimately it all boils down to we're dealing with homeowners and board members, right? Even though we have different interpretations, it all boils down to, well, what does the client want? What does the homeowner want, right? And if we can meet those goals, eventually the end goal is always going to be the same, which is make them happy, right? How we get there could be different by state, but it all boils down to how the homeowner feels about the service they get from Keystone.
In addition, are you also supporting the different VPs, the folks who are out at the divisions?
Yes. What we do, Tamara and I actually do this almost on a daily basis, is we talk to the local office VP. We talk about standardization, we talk about our goals, and then we talk about what their current operations are. And that's where opportunity comes up, right? There's opportunities where it's through technology, we can make things faster and easier and give them the time to focus more on working with the local clients that they have, right? Eventually, what Tamara and I do is we look at things that we can do easier, faster on the back end, but we allow the local office to work with the clients directly.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, Tamara, I want to build on that. One, talking about your role specifically and the components you oversee, but I would imagine too that when you're talking about putting new, systems in place, that must be scary sometimes, especially on new acquired communities or divisions. How do you make people feel comfortable and that it's okay to come along and try new things?
Yeah, it's a big undertaking, some of these changes that some of the acquired companies have to go through. And so we really want to make sure that they know they have the support at corporate while still maintaining their local presence. And that's something that we really focused on when we were coming up with a plan on how to regionalize certain components of Keystone and create efficiencies while still maintaining local presence, local accounting presence, not centralizing everything out of Irvine. So that's really been our main focus.
I thought it was really interesting yesterday when we were talking to the VPs. There was so much, I don't know if admiration is the right word, but certainly like thankfulness or gratitude that things weren't being shoved at them or forced upon them, and that was really something that Keystone makes a priority. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Rio and I meet with the VPs, like he said, very frequently. And we appreciate their support through all of it because they have to implement these changes to the clients and to their teams. And so they're very supportive of us, and we want to make sure that it goes smoothly for them since they're in front of the client. So
One of the things that all the VPs talked about yesterday, and I think you probably would all have insight on in this too, is they talked about how Keystone allows them to push forward, try new things, but also to fail sometimes. That sometimes things don't work, whether it's because it doesn't fit into that division or to that new acquisition, or just because you just went for the gold and maybe you came up a little short, but that was never seen as a failure. Would you agree with that assessment that it just allowed them to grow, try something new, and move on and learn from things?
100%, I agree. I always encourage my team two things, right? Do the best. And if it doesn't work, it's okay because you did your best, right? And oftentimes there will be failures, but it's okay. When you fail at something, you learn something. And I think that's been our success, mainly geared towards like, not everything's going to be perfect, but we're going to make it better. So that's been my interpretation all along, working with various regions, is that, we'll just make it better. That's all.
And would you agree as well that being a leader, you're teaching your team the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, you don't go unless you take risks. And if you don't try things, then you're never going to innovate. So it's about how you deal with it, right? It's about being open, to trying new things. And if it doesn't work out, then okay, step back and assess. Okay, why didn't it work out? What can we do better? And hopefully implement that learning in the future. I mean, with any organization, you need that in order to continue to grow.
And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit more. Same question, but also could you maybe give a specific example? I know there's been a lot of changes in accounting in the last several years, so I would love if there was something specific that you could bring up.
yeah, I think the San Diego acquisitions were a big undertaking and they did things a little bit different. And so over the past several years, we've tried to standardize things with the corporate office, and it's been difficult. And so I think this year we have a leader down there, Cheryl Fleming, who's really focused on that and making sure that we align with the corporate office and making sure that that's communicated to the team. I think a big part of it is communication. And if it's not communicated why we're making these changes, it makes it difficult for team members to understand.
So it's just keeping those lines open so that people can understand what you're trying to achieve.
Yep, and provide feedback on if it's successful and pivot when needed.
So I'm going to stay with you for a second because now we're going to move a little bit into accomplishments because last year was a really big year for Keystone amongst all the divisions. Tell me a little bit from your perspective, what were the big accomplishments for 25? 2025, I should say.
Yeah, so I think we finally were able to achieve some regionalization and standardization in San Diego, like I mentioned. And then another big change was switching Idaho from Caliber to Sync. That was a huge undertaking, and not only did they switch softwares, they switched banks. We also switched their accounting method at the same time. So they went through a lot of change at the same time.
They did.
And we have a team member, a Keystone team member who had left and actually came back in the middle of that project. So our controller up there, Lee Ruff, came into mid-project and was able to successfully carry us across the finish line for that project. So
It was
it's
so
been
interesting meeting their leader. You know, there were a few potato jokes, I will admit it, but just how much it was just seamless in terms of they are Keystone now, and they're such a big part of what that vision is moving forward. I mean, it was just really exciting. I'm sure you're seeing the same things. Have you had a chance to go out to Idaho?
I have.
Okay.
Yes, I've been up there a couple of times. It's a great team, and I love working with them. So
I hope to get out there because it sounded really exciting. Real, how about you? What were the big accomplishments for you and your team specifically for 2025?
2025, the biggest accomplishment we have was statement generation, right? When we talk about statement generation, you would think it's as simple as generate a statement, give it to the homeowners, end of story. It's not that
For an
simple.
outsider, it's like,
Yeah, just send you a bill,
Is
right?
it like what my bank sends me? What are you talking
No,
about?
actually, it's a lot more in depth. Every local office has a different method, right? We have offices that, they like coupons. We have offices that they like email. We have offices where they send it 30, 45 days before. Completely different
Right.
from how we're accustomed to in California. But overall, we were able to standardize it and still gave the local office the exceptions that they need. Meaning,
So you could inject flexibility.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, right? The way we look at it is, listen, the bottom line is we need to get the notices accordingly to homeowners. We'll accommodate. We'll just have to analyze as far as what is our support system in place. Meaning we've operated where if a team member is out, we need to make sure we can cover. If a team member wants to take a long vacation, we still have that support in place. So I think that's been the greatest accomplishment is a statement and generation of coupons or whatnot. Another thing I have to acknowledge is billing our clients, right?
Always very important
Yep,
in any
very
business.
important.
Yes.
It's
yes.
what pays everything. Ultimately, we were able to centralize and implemented systems where across the board, even though there's a different contract structure dollar-wise, we're able to automate and created some systems where it's easily retrievable for someone to do it. In the past, we used to manually track them. We got rid of the manual tracking. We leveraged
I
technology.
can't even
where-
imagine the work that
Oh
would
yeah,
have caused. My
fun stuff,
goodness.
fun
yeah.
stuff. But now it's been great. It's been great hearing from team members what they used to do, and then it's been great to look at other opportunities where we can speed up the process just to give them the time to focus on other things. And those are, I'd probably say the two things that we've done best. Another thing that I'll probably acknowledge is implementation. Our California office is now supporting Colorado and Idaho office. Ultimately, when they bring in a new client, we're the one that's doing some of the back end work on onboarding. And I think it's been great. Keeping it consistent where the way we put it in the system is all consistent and clean. So all regions can see it and we know what we're working with. So
I would imagine too that with moving things to electronic format too allows you then to see metrics to like start gauging on a different level versus like, well, it's all over
absolutely.
here in paper and pencil.
Yep,
So yeah.
That's the key for us. Every year we talk about metrics, right? Metrics more of how do we weigh our accomplishments? How do we look at things that we can improvise? And it's all about the metrics.
It's all about the metrics, but metrics don't happen without people. So tell me a little bit about for 2025, what were your big accomplishments around HR?
Well, for starters, we had a couple of acquisitions were really exciting. So we're in the desert now with Albert Management. And
Yes, there was a huge,
Yeah.
like little debate yesterday about what does the desert mean.
all right.
So is it Coachella? Is it Palm Springs? What is it?
That's all
So
included.
yeah,
And Cardinal in Orange. So we have a presence here now locally, which is nice. And we also onboard a lot of big on-sites, and Bell Canyon is one of them. in Calabasas. That was a really big one. So with any kind of, on-sites, acquisitions, HR is super involved in every aspect of it. And also with the integration with the team members, there's a lot of change management involved. We started a succession planning initiative. We're going to talk a little bit more about that this year. This year it will be rolled out. Very exciting. I have Tessa Seller. She's a training manager, HR business partner. Really have done a tremendous job with training and development. Um, we we basically did a survey, and then from that we rolled out an updated training and development strategy with supervisors and leaders. We implemented a supervisory training. It's a two-part training, very intensive, that we required all the supervisors to undergo. And we conducted a 5 levels of leadership, which we do annually now. We also conducted hiring impact or hiring with impact, which is new for basically recruiting and selection. And for team members as a whole, we had conflict management training, which was very much in demand and very well received. Um, the other thing,
Nowadays, that's good for just your
for
regular life.
everybody,
On top of
right?
yeah, it's just
Exactly,
I'm sure.
personally and professionally.
Yes, I'm
Um,
sure you did have a lot
yeah.
of demand for that.
Yeah, and so we continue our wellness webinars through quarterly through our EAP provider and financial wellness. So it's very holistic, and those are very popular. People love those. We got recertified for a great place to work, which was super exciting.
And I had that to ask you later in the show because
Right.
it's such a big deal.
It
And
is. Yeah.
I want to come back to just one thing you said, and is about like the leadership development, management development, because that has been a huge focus for Keystone for the last several years. How do people like look at that? Do they understand how focused Keystone is on that, or is that something you're constantly kind of telling people? Hey, and bringing leaders along.
I think people understand it, but it's like anything, it's always good to continue that message, right? And also make sure that we are demonstrating it and we continue to demonstrate like that we're not just saying it. But it's also important that we have training and development opportunities for all our team members as well. So we're doing a lot of focus on that also this year. It's not, the supervisors and leaders are important, but everybody as a whole, we want to continue to help everybody develop and grow. So we're going to definitely expand on our offerings more this year.
That's great. And great, again, just building on that, making people feel valued.
Yes.
Really, really valued that they're there. So, all right, I'm going to stay with you for a minute because you just brought up all these accomplishments for 2025. What are you looking for 2026?
So for 2026, we're looking right now at open enrollment for benefits. We changed brokers last year. That was one of our big accomplishments as well. We're really excited. We have a partnership with Baldwin, and they're very strategic. The other thing is the succession planning. Again, we started phase one of it, and now this year it's going to be, full force, really making sure that we create the program, fine tune it, roll it out. And so that's going to be a big initiative this year. Continuing to, again, to expand our training and development offerings, getting recertified for a great place to work, right? It's very important. So those are some of the key things. But honestly, it's, as we continue to grow organically and with acquisitions, we're always continuing to evolve in HR and grow. I mean, I think it's important. Continuous improvement has always been, for me, a big focus for not just for my team, but for everybody in the company. So we're always looking to do new things, implement initiatives to maximize everybody's experience in the company.
And, I want to just focus for just a second on, you mentioned succession planning is going to be an initiative for 26. A lot of people hear that and get really scared that it's just like, oh Lord, what's going to happen? More change. But it doesn't, that's not necessarily what succession planning is about, right? Can you just focus in on that for just a moment?
I think it's important, we've always valued growing our people and making sure that, we are building our future leaders, right? And giving people the opportunities. Everybody wants to grow. I mean, I think you'd look at any survey, you talk to anybody, people generally want to grow. And this gives a basically a formal plan, a program for us to be able to do that. And it gives people an opportunity to talk about development more, really making sure that those conversations are taking place on a regular basis, but giving people the tools and resources in order to do that. So it's really about planning ahead, right? Because we always want to continue to build the next generation of leaders, and we want people to grow within. Right. And as a company grows, the cool thing is there's great opportunities If you're mobile, you can go to Colorado, you can go to Idaho, you can go to a different office, you can go to San Diego, you can go to the desert, you can go to Northern California. But I think if you don't have a plan, sometimes people, we want people to feel like there is an actual plan, especially for those that truly want a path.
I had a chance to talk briefly with Michael about that yesterday because he was the first one. Like, we're going to
Yes.
go to Colorado. It's like where nobody knows what's going to happen, but he was, like wagon toe, right? So
Right.
and now that it's such a staple of like just leadership and
Mhm.
development that you have all these opportunities and
Yes.
it doesn't have to be scary. And you don't,
Right.
you can plant your flag just about anywhere if you have that desire.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Tamara, how about you? Looking ahead to 2026, I know AI is has been talked about a lot and will probably play a big role, or that you'll be exploring that. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we're working with Sync right now and some other companies on some AI tools that we're hoping to roll out. One of the big things that we're working on right now is testing the budgeting tool with Sync. And so we're really focused on making sure that before the product is released to our managers and clients, that it is a smooth, easy to use product.
Right.
And that it gives our boards a lot of information that's easy to understand. And so that's
And
a
that's
big
such a
focus.
huge
It is.
component of what they do. I mean, I'm sure that's probably the biggest time people are asking for PTO or I need a day off and
Yeah, it's the
don't make me
dreaded
do it.
season of the year in
Yes.
the HOA industry for sure.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can roll that out and make that a smoother process for all of our team members. And then there's some other tools that are within Sync that we're currently rolling out that'll help the staff accountants with some of their bank reconciliations, some AI tools that are going to read banking information
Right.
and post transactions in Sync for us. So we're looking forward to all that.
It sounds
Hopefully AI can
wonderful
offer us,
and a little
but-
creepy at the same time. So
It is, it's one of those things that's going to be scary at first, but we're going to keep testing it,
right.
making sure that it's going to work for us and, help us in the future.
And just help people do their jobs to the best they possibly can.
Yeah. And free up some of those tasks that are
Oh,
just
100%.
administrative tasks that at this day and age, people don't need to be even focused on.
Yeah, the Tylenol for every tab kind of thing. So, Rio, how about you? What are some of the big system improvements I think you're looking at, or what are just big things you're looking at for 2026?
For 2026, what we're really focusing on is getting more of our partnership stronger and better between local office and corporate office, right? Ultimately, my goal is to essentially do as much of the back end work, right? Local office meets the client, talks to the homeowners. We do all the back end work. That's essentially our goal, is to be able to support you 24 hours on the back end. We have different time frames, but the way I look at it is, hey, we'll continue to do what needs to get done. Big initiative for us this year, I'll probably say, is our billing process, right? Every time we acquire a new account, new acquisition, there's always different contracts in place. So what we like to do is, we get the local office involved, right? We don't know everything. We ask what their pain points are, what are the things they do manually, and if we can find a way to either help them with the manual stuff or find a way to leverage technology. And that's essentially our goal, right? Is what are the things that I can do for you to make your job easy and set the foundation for future growth within that office.
And I had no idea how much, even just in a year, that Keystone had expanded to various different areas, not just Idaho, but in the Bay Area. And now you're talking about the desert. And so that's a lot to manage. Tell me a little bit about the team that you have helping you with this.
Sure. Well, I have to say we have a lot of team members, but I'm going to make I'll say some comments.
You could do some
I'm
call
gonna
outs.
go-
It's okay.
Here's what I'll
Yeah,
say.
you can name drop. Go ahead.
California-wise, we have Tyler, Lori, and Caesar. Those are the team members that interact with the local offices. Now, when we talk about local offices, Colorado-wise, we have Brittany, we have Meredith, we have Crystal. Those are I'll use the word controllers that interact with the managers, board members. So essentially, our goal is to support those controllers. Now, when we go to Idaho, we have Lee. We also have Michelle. Michelle is actually in the property management division, but both of their feedback plays a critical role, right? We don't know what goes on in Idaho, so we need to have those,
Right.
we
They have to have those people
leads
with their
and
hands on the pulse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then San Diego-wise, Cheryl's also been very open about, just giving us feedback on, even though it's in California, San Diego's just different sometimes, right? The way I look at it is every local office will continue to operate the way they operate. All we do in the corporate side is what are the support that we can give you in the back end. And hopefully, that's the driving factor in how we get bigger and bigger is the support we can get from the corporate side.
And that's you, basically. So they're all looking to you.
Well, I have a team, is
Yeah,
what I'll say.
that-
I have a team.
And that's fantastic. We all need like great teams to, make us better leaders, to find new leaders. So Deanna, how about you? Tell me a little bit about your team specifically. Who's
Yeah.
supporting you?
Well, I'm very blessed. I have a very knowledgeable and dedicated team, and they all collaborate pretty well together. So I have 3 HR directors. I have a senior payroll manager. I have the training manager, HR business partner, corporate recruiter, HR generalist, and HR coordinator. And I think I did say senior payroll manager. That's important because she pays everybody. So we do have a new addition to the team from last year. It was Tesla, the training manager, and Jesse Klingbeil, who's the senior HR manager at Albert. So that's pretty exciting, as we continue to grow. So does the HR team. But again, you got to do it as a team. Everybody has a critical role, and again, the team is very aligned on providing excellent service, to internal and external clients.
As a leader yourself, like what do you look for in either emerging leaders, or what do you tell people about what they need to do or what they should be thinking about in becoming a leader?
I think it's important again to have that continuous improvement mindset. I mean, if you're not going to grow, they have a book that's if you don't grow, you die, right? Essentially, if you're not looking to continue to grow and innovate, it's about change management. Looking at how can we move things along in terms of innovating. What worked before doesn't mean it's going to work in the future, right? So what got you there won't get you there. So I think that's really important. Being open to feedback, asking for the feedback, living the moments that matter that we have is really important because it really does. Everything in the moments that matter is really everything that you look for in a leader, right? In everybody. But I think it's that drive. You have to have the drive. You can't just be complacent.
So coming to you, she just gave us her take on it. What's your take on it? What do you look for in leaders? And maybe what was the greatest leadership lesson you ever learned?
Yeah, I mean, we
I just
have
put you right on the spot. I'm
No,
so
right?
sorry. Yeah.
I'm lucky to have great leaders in all of the regions. And I think Deanna and her team's support is a huge part of that. And just Keystone's teamwork in general. Even though we have so many different regions, all of our controllers and leaders work together to make sure that they can be a success and work through problems. And I think that really um, allows leaders to grow and retains strong leaders and builds strong teams. So that's been a great thing that we have.
Rio, you're gonna get the last word. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for in leaders and how you develop leaders. And then if you have something, what was the best leadership lesson you ever learned?
Honesty. Every person that walks into my office, every team member that I talk to, I'm always like, just be honest. It's okay, right? You're going to make a mistake. You're going to have an idea that may not work, but you know what? Ultimately, just be honest, right? If it doesn't work, it's okay. Just be honest. It didn't work, right? If you're open, it's all going to work itself out, right? Biggest thing I probably learned for this year is nothing's ever going to be perfect, right? It's not going to be perfect because if it was perfect, we probably won't have a job. So the way I look at things is, listen, there's going to be things that we can make better, and there's going to be things that we can probably save a lot of time. But how we get there essentially means we need to have those drivers, and those drivers are the leaders. So I just keep using the word, just be honest. It's okay. If you don't like something, be honest about it, because tell me what works for you, right? What works for me may not work for you. So if you tell me how you feel, we'll find a way to get a middle ground. And that's essentially my motto, just honesty.
I love that. That's great. And a great way to end. Thank you, all three of you, for sharing all of your insights and what's going on in your different departments and areas of expertise, because gosh knows that's needed. And Keystone's lucky to have you all.
Sure.
Thank you all for staying with us for this wonderful conversation, and stay tuned because now I'm going to throw it back to Carrie.
Wow. That was amazing to hear from our leaders about everything they're doing in our departments and in our regions. It's amazing to see. Well, now's the moment you've all been waiting for. Here is Matt Williams to talk about our 2025 Service Awards.
Thank you, Carrie. It's great to be here with everyone. Our annual meeting is an opportunity to recognize those team members who have accelerated their professional momentum by achieving new designations and those who have made outstanding individual contributions to Keystone. The following team members received their professional designations in 2025. Fred Scaglione earned his large-scale manager designation, the LSM. Congratulations to Fred for earning the LSM designation through your hard work. Jen Ruiz, Lori Polson, and Denise Gutierrez earned the Certified Community Association Manager, the CCAM designation. Congratulations, Jen, Lori, and Denise for earning your CCAM designation through your hard work. Also, congratulations to Gina Pauley for earning her CCAM 20-year pin. Fantastic work. Trina Alexander, Fawn Adams, Natalie Lozano, Kelly McInnes, Tina Akamara, Amy Hughes, Cheyenne Prokosh, and Danica Petrov earned the Certified Manager of Community Association designation, CMCA. Congratulations to Trina, Fawn, Natalie, Kelly, Tina, Amy, Cheyenne, and Danica for earning your CMCA designation through your hard work. Josh Hall, Kelly Miller, Rosamond Paglio, and Marissa Simones earned the Association Management Specialist designation, the AMS. Congratulations, Josh, Kelly, Rosamond, and Marissa for earning your AMS through your hard work. Rebecca Arroyo, Mark Dougal, Alyssa Dale, Christy Stanger, and Cody Howes earned the Professional Community Association Manager, the PCAM designation. Congratulations, Rebecca, Mark, Alyssa, Christy, and Cody for earning your PCAM. Lastly, I would like to congratulate Jeremy Wilson, Vice President of Northern California, on his appointment as Chair of the California Association of Community Managers, the CACM. Now we will present our annual awards for 2025.
I'm here today to announce the winner of the Core Value Award for Servant Leadership. This person consistently goes above and beyond to make himself available to coworkers, board members, and clients. He leads his team by example, working long hours while maintaining a high level of professionalism and a positive, approachable demeanor. He regularly attends board meetings alongside community managers to help answer questions and provide clarity regarding the association's financial health and activities. He is a true asset to Keystone, our clients, and his colleagues. Please help me congratulate Shannon Bonet on winning the Servant Leadership Award.
I'm excited to be here today to announce the winner of our Core Value Award for Building Relationships. The recipient of this award truly exemplifies what it means to build strong, meaningful connections by consistently fulfilling commitments to both our employees and our clients. This individual has developed strong relationships not only within our team, but also with our clients and developers. They lead with integrity, give respect in every interaction, and consistently does the right thing for both the team and the client. Beyond that, they are always looking for a creative and thoughtful solution when challenges arise, ensuring that everyone involved feels supported and valued. The personal touch she brings to our client relationship has made a lasting impact and has directly contributed to the continued growth year over year. The dedication, professionalism, and genuine care is seen daily with this individual. Please join me in congratulating Chantel Walters on being the well-deserved recipient of the Building Relationships Award.
Hi friends, I'm here to announce the winner of our Core Value Award for Empowering People. Empowering people means creating an environment where others can grow, lead, and succeed. It's about empowering our team to improve people's lives, nurturing leadership, promoting personal success, and recognizing those who exceed expectations. This year's recipient truly embodies what it means to empower others. Throughout the year, this individual became a steady source of support for those around them, creating clarity, confidence, and a true sense of trust within their team. They built a learning environment where questions were welcome, guidance was freely given, and people felt supported at every stage of their journey. What truly sets this person apart is how they lead. They are consistently approachable, responsive, and deeply invested in the success of others. Team members shared that their leader made them feel confident, valued, and excited to come to work. Even in moments that require grace and commitment, this individual showed up with kindness and a genuine "I've got this" attitude, always placing people first. For their dedication to empowering others, elevating our culture, and leading with heart, it is my honor to ask you to please join me in congratulating Tia Meach, the recipient of the Core Value Award for Empowering People.
I am here today to announce the winner of the Core Value Awards for Exceeds Expectations. Exceeds Expectations means that this person truly lives our values by doing our best at all times, being solution-oriented, anticipating people's needs, being innovative. This recognition is based on feedback shared by his peers and colleagues who consistently highlighted the impact he has every day. This person consistently goes above and beyond in his role as an accounting manager and frankly, everything AP. Demonstrating exceptional service, professionalism, and dedication, despite working with hundreds of managers and associations, he remains thorough, accurate, and highly efficient in everything he does. He is incredibly responsive whenever I reach out with a question or a request. I can rely on receiving a clear and timely answer almost immediately. His reliability, attention to detail, and willingness to help make him my go-to resource at the corporate office. And his support greatly contributes to smooth operations and strong working relationships. As if that weren't enough, he's also just stepped into an exciting new role, becoming a first-time dad. Based on the care, patience, and dedication he brings to his work every day, there's no doubt he's going to be an amazing father. Please help me congratulate Cesar Hernandez on winning the Exceeds Expectations Award.
Hi, I am here today to announce the winner of the CX Champion Award. This person consistently responds with urgency to both clients and coworkers. Our entire team benefits from their accountability, extensive job knowledge, and willingness to help solve problems. They handle a significant amount of communication, but take time to genuinely listen, provide quality information, and meaningful assistance. They are kind and patient, even when dealing with frustrated owners and difficult personalities. This person works to efficiently close the loop and goes above and beyond to assist with matters that are many times outside of their job responsibilities. This Keystone Ambassador is one of a kind and truly makes work more enjoyable. Please help me congratulate Serena Morphew on winning this year's CX Champion Award.
I'm here today to announce the winner of the Excellence in Service Award for 2025. The purpose of the Excellence in Service Award is to acknowledge the efforts of an individual who is aligned with our vision of improving people's lives beyond expectations and demonstrate our 4 core values. Specifically, the efforts aim to exemplify the following: servant leadership, building relationships, empowering people, and exceeding expectations. This person has been with Keystone since 2023 and has quickly distinguished themselves as a dependable, results-driven leader. Over the past 3 years, they've managed several communities, often navigating challenging boards or complex situations. They constantly rise to the occasion, applying sound judgment, practical strategies, and results-oriented solutions that earn the trust and respect of every board they work with. In 2025, they took on additional responsibilities and challenges beyond their assigned client without hesitation. They have consistently approached each new assignment with professionalism, clear decision-making, and a focus on achieving positive outcomes. Even in high-pressure situations, their leadership ensured clients navigated difficult periods successfully, turning potential challenges into resounding successes. Their unwavering commitment, reliability, and ability to deliver exceptional client experiences beyond expectations make them an outstanding example of Keystone's values. Their contribution, leadership, and dedication make them highly deserving of the 2025 Keystone Excellence in Service Award. Please help me congratulate Chris Sullivan on winning the Excellence in Service Award.
Congratulations to all of our award winners. You've done some amazing things. In closing, I want you all to know that the size, scope, and success of Keystone is truly the realization of my dream for the company. It is amazing for me to see you all grow and carry Keystone forward. And I want to thank you all for your desire to grow, your hard work, and your belief in me and my dreams. I truly believe that together we can accomplish anything that we want. Have a great day.